Good morning, my people. You're welcome to today's political broadcast. Today is the 13th of August, 2025, and we are still discussing Nigerian politics. We have reports that the president and the Senate president, they are having health complications. I repeat, the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the Senate president, Akpabio, they are having health complications, and it is affecting their duty to the nation. The other day, Tinubu was absent for over 7 days because of his health challenges. These people over the years have been unable to fix our healthcare sector. Over the years, since 1960, Nigerian leaders have not been able to fix our healthcare sector, despite the promises, despite the campaign manifestos, despite the committees that have been set, despite the money that have been borrowed. We have not been able to fix any sector of the society. If these men, these your leaders, Tinubu and Akpabio, if they get sick, if they fall sick today, they will fly abroad to use healthcare facilities in another man's country. When they invest, most of them invest abroad. Now, your education in Nigeria is in comatose. These leaders of yours, if they want to educate their children, they take their children abroad. They only come into Nigeria to be part of the leadership so that they can take money, they can take your resources, use it for themselves, their families, and their loved ones. Now, it is high time Nigerians start asking critical questions, eye-opening questions. Why is it that our leaders have not been able to fix any sector of the economy since 1960? Note, since 1960, nobody will sell propaganda for me today in 2025. Nigeria is not designed to be a place that should be developed. That is why since 1960, you have been speaking big grammar. You have been having committees. You have been employing and appointing technocrats. Over the years, at the end of the day, it amounts to nothing. Monies have been stolen. We have been into more debt than before. Different presidents will come and say, I am the Messiah. At the end of the day, they give us story. Look at what Tinubu is telling us now. That the economy is improving. My brother, we have heard this story before. If you do not restructure Nigeria, you see, one thing our politicians, the kind of mindset they have, is that let us make them poor and uneducated. It is easier to control a poor person and an uneducated person. That is why things happen in Nigeria, nobody does anything about it. Tinubu came in and he destroyed the average class. It is the average class that used to push for protest. If you are going to carry out a protest today, it is an average class that will sponsor such protest. You don't just go out for protest. You must have placards, you must have logistics, feeding, and all other things will be applicable. Yes. So Tinubu came in, they destroyed the average class, and it is the rich, and the poor. The rich does not use your hospitals, in quote. The rich, that rich class, the rich class and the poor class. The rich does not use your educational system. In fact, we have Ivy schools, top schools in Nigeria. A poor man, an average man cannot afford these schools. Go and look at your public schools. Look at them. Every time a governor will come, we built a classroom of 1 million blocks of whatever. Are you telling us that the standard of education in those block of classrooms you are building, you are using for campaign so that you can steal people's votes? Can you tell me the standard of education in those block of classrooms? When the rich want to educate their people, they take them to sophisticated places with different curriculum. If you look at Nigeria today, you know that Nigerians have the ones that are educated, they don't get sense. Most of them are half-baked. You go on Twitter, on social media, you see somebody who put professor, PhD. When the person opens his mouth or puts a comment, you'll be shocked. Where did this person get this education from? Where did this person get this education from? Now we have a report. See, if we don't ask these questions, if we don't enlighten ourselves and tell ourselves the truth, that Nigeria can never move on like this, we need to refabricate, restructure. See, whatever words you are going to use, refabricate, restructure Nigeria so that we can start a new discourse. If you continue like this, my brother, if you are shouting Emilokon, if you are shouting this and that, if you continue like this, my brother, you go nowhere. Except you like it the way you are. You know, some people are enjoying in this government. Some people, they are having contacts. The last employment, the last appointment Tinubu made. Let me read it. You know, Northern Nigeria, they don't craze for Tinubu. They tell you, every day they are wailing. Southeast, they don't wait. The last appointment. So, President Tinubu has approved the appointment of the board of the Universal Service Provision Fund with Dr. Bosun Tijani as a chairman. Yes. Then Idris Olorunibe, vice chairman. Abraham Oshidami, member. Rimini Makama, Aliyu Edogi, Joseph B. Faluyi, Uzoma Dozier, Awa Mohammed, Peter Bankole, Abayomi, Oluwasegun. 70% of them or 80% of them are Yorubas. Appointment upon appointment, at the end of the day, it is all about taking from Nigeria. These politicians have copied the template of the colonial masters. They are aligning with the colonial masters to take our resources for their own personal benefits. Most of them, look at former Anambra State Governor and look at your former Edo State Governor. Anytime there's a trouble, they go to their home. Their home is not in Nigeria. Anambra State Governor, Shena USD, Willie Obiano, after he did all he did in Anambra State, he went to their retirement point. None of these your big men are retiring in Nigeria. When you look at, say, we are making progress as Nigerians. No, we are not making progress as Nigerians. It is the big men that are owning these companies. They co-own these companies with Oyibo, with the colonial masters. It is the big men that are in partnership with the colonial masters that is taking from our resources that it is getting better for. Like I said before, somebody will come and gaslight you and tell you that Nigeria is seeing progress. Now, companies are declaring profit. I ask you this question. If companies are declaring trillions and trillions of naira, what is the benefit to the average man on the streets? Now, we have a company like, let's say, a bank declare trillions. Walk into that bank and see the workers there. Look at their condition. Those days, when we used to go to banks, we see a banker, we respect bankers. Go, even bankers, they ask for tip. Banker, if they give banker money, they will praise you. Unlike those days, the same banks are declaring trillions upon trillions of naira. Then somebody will come and tell you that Nigeria is getting better. My brother, Tinubu's government is a government for the rich. His policies, you see this tax bill, the tax bill. You see, I've said it before. If you follow me critically, you follow me very well, I've said that Nigerians go pay. This tax bill, you go pay. And why I support the tax bill as a good bill is that those ones that think that the government is a government that will benefit only me and my tribe because they are appointed some people. They are appointed some Yoruba people. It is just for 8 years. After 8 years, it goes back to status quo. Those people will stay there for 8 years. Another government that comes will change them. It's just something that is temporal. If another government comes now, and all this appointment Tinubu is making, they are saving it down. When they come in, they will now reintroduce their own. And those Yorubas that have been there over the years, they will have to, they will be affected also. Some people are just playing politics. You know, politics in Nigeria is deceit. These Northerners that are supporting Tinubu, they are just supporting you and just looking at you. And let's support him. Let's support him. Let's just allow them finish their tenure. When they finish their tenure, we come in, we do our own. I've told you that there are different things that will happen to Tinubu if he does not restructure Nigeria. And if these people take over power, they will make sure that they reduce his influence in Nigeria. That is what they will be fighting to do. Although there are some policies of this government that they cannot reverse, like the subsidy, like this tax bill. I'm talking about the tax bill. Nigerians are going to pay for tax. Tax bill, you go pay. You that you are saying you are supporting a government that cannot give you good governance because it's a tribe, is from your tribe. You are supporting a government because the government is from your tribe. When you start the pay tax bill, maybe at that time your eye go clear. These people are following the template of the colonial masters, the imperialists. They want your naira to be weak so that they can buy your resources cheap. They want your naira to be weak so that they can be buying your resources cheap. They want your people to tax you and tax you and tax you. And you borrow. When you borrow debt, there's a debt. Politicians, corruption. When they borrow the money, they steal half of the money. They use the money, do 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 things here and there. And there's deficit. They will not tax you to collect the money. All the subsidy where Buhari don't give now, Tinubu go collect them within 1 year. I'm telling you, you are paying tax on every transaction. If you are paying bank transaction, you are paying tax. So una protest that time. They allow na finish na protest to after na protest, they do what they do. They no say una no get liver to stop them. They know that. Because most of you are largely uneducated and most of you are largely poor. A poor and uneducated man is easier to control them. So this tax bill, I said it the other time, some celebrities are being taxed by the government. They don't keep quiet now. I don't know whether they will have the guts to campaign against Tinubu 2027. But the tax where government will collect for their hand, they don't keep quiet. Now the government of the day has issues with integrity, has issues with corruption. The government that has been living in corruption over the years, una carry key of treasury, give a person that his life is known for all kinds of corruption. Una carry treasury of Nigeria, give am. So they are following the template of the World Bank and the colonial masters. So these people, no, I wanted to read something. I think I was reading something before. Not even the appointment. Now, Seplat, Renaissance, Wando, and Chevron, all about to carry out drilling projects to raise oil production. The future is bright. This is somebody who is supporting the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I will not call his name. Seplat. These are oil companies. Seplat, Renaissance, Wando, and Chevron, all about to carry drilling projects to raise oil production. Now, I'm concerned about governance and how people benefit from the government. I'm concerned about that. Let's go back. They told us that if they remove subsidy, the money they are going to use to ameliorate the sufferings of the people. They told us about CNG buses fixing the refineries. That is Tinubu's government. Don't forget, I've told you before that if the opposition, the coalition has a lot of things to push, a lot of propaganda to push against this current government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They promised you that one. Where is the CNG buses? There's one thing that you want to do something to prove a point, and something you want to genuinely, you have the political will to do it. They are two different things. APC wanted to do those things to prove a point. That's why they could not sustain it. They could not sustain it, my brother. They want to just prove that we can do this and that. Where are the CNG buses? All those conditions, not cash transfer. How does Nigeria have database of other Nigeria? Does the federal government have database, a reliable database of Nigerians? That's why there's a need for census. You see, a lot of things are going on, my brother. All these things, policies of the government, does not benefit the average Nigerian. That is why if you restructure the country and we have state controlling their resources, a lot of things will change. Or there's a regional system of governance, a lot of things will change. Now, Seplat, Renaissance, Wando, and Chevron, they are except for Wando, Seplat, Renaissance, Chevron, they have international vested interests. These are the people that will be drilling. They are drilling projects. They are carrying out. They are already drilling. They are getting more projects. If I read out the people that are Chevron, all over Nigeria, we have Vanguard, we have BlackRock, top shareholders in Chevron. Those ones that are international levels. We have Chevron Africa, controlled by the whites. We have Seplat. Somebody in Nigerian is the head. You know, when colonial masters, they came into the country, they had warrant chief now. So all these guys, where they say they are the chairman or whatever, the highest shareholders in the company, now them get mad for company. So the highest shareholders in this company, they are internal. One of them in Seplat in France. A company in France is having the highest shareholding in Seplat. Since 18-something, this company don't do. Oyibo now they help us drill our stuff. And when we are saying the future is bright, we are not taking charge of our own resources. Our resources, other people in their own country are competing with our own resources. We get resources. We cannot have over 60-70% of what we own, our resources in Nigeria, drilling. Some other companies, international companies, drilling companies that are outside the country, they are the ones that are having higher shareholding in our oil companies, major oil companies. Do you know what it is? It is only in Mobile that the ADME, Wale Tinubu, they have 57-point-something% share. That is an interest to the Tinubus. You know, say the president, the other Tinubu, the president, Bola Tinubu, now be Minister of Petroleum. And NNPC Limited, they don't turn out to limited. So the Minister of Petroleum now, you understand? They are reaching themselves. You are here sitting down there, open your mouth and laugh. There's no how they will employ every Yoruba educated person. If you are looking at this as a government of the Yorubas, there's no how they will employ every educated Yoruba person. And we did this 4 years. A lot of things will happen, my brother. It is just running around and around, running around. I've told you we have to ask critical questions. These leaders, they don't send you, they don't send me. They are not concerned about you and I. They are concerned about themselves and the sentiments they can push. Why is Tinubu appealing to the Yoruba people? It's because he wants to collapse that structure. He wants to get everybody to support him. That is why he's appealing. Not that in his... If he's going to have his way, if he knows that Northern Nigeria is going to support him, if he does one or two things, he can dump you from the Southwest. He doesn't care. These guys are selfish people that are for their own personal gain. They have all these billions. Most of them have 10 years to live, but yet they are not satisfied with that. Look at the Bill Gates, donating more than half of his, even almost all his wealth to charity. That's what he's doing. Which African black rich man, billionaire, would want to do such a thing? Instead, your politicians are interested in grabbing. They are not content. They are not content at all. And this is the Nigeria you want to raise your children in. This is the Nigeria you are supporting. This is the Nigeria you believe that you have a destiny. My brother, open your eyes. Understand that you are not part of the progress report of Nigeria. These your leaders. Let's look at Renaissance African Energy, who owns Renaissance, a company that will be drilling your oil. ND Western Limited, Aradel Holdings PLC, First Exploration and Development Company, Watersmith Group, and Petroleum Group. This Petroleum Group also owns shares in Seplat. And these are international companies. US have 5 refineries. How many Nigeria get? 1. Biggest buyers of oil from Nigeria, I think India, US, and UK. Something like India, US, and UK. Biggest buyers of Nigeria oil. These are 3 people. And these people, they want your naira to be weak, so that when they are buying their oil, they are buying it cheap. Oh God. They want your currency to be weak, so that when they are buying your oil, they are buying it cheap. And these are the people we are hailing. And somebody called me the other day and told me that Tinubu will change Nigeria, my brother. I was sometimes when some people call me, I will not be able to like pour out my mind to them. I just want to listen to them so that they can begin and land. If I want to tell them that, my brother, this thing you said, I don't think it's possible, because I don't like arguing with people. I don't like argument too much. It is what is, by their fruit you shall know them. What is obtainable? What are we seeing at the moment? What is there? That is what we are looking at. When you look at Nigeria today, a lot of people are saying this is happening, that is happening, this is happening. My brother, very few people are being empowered in Nigeria today. There is money in this country. And you see, your big men, they don't know. They don't care whether you... My God. During election time, you see all these politicians, they'll not remember they have to go to the market and receive those mothers. They are there, they know that they are selling the future of the women and the future of their children. They know that they are actively lying to them, not telling them the truth. There's no truth in politics, no moral. The same person that posted this thing about Seplat, Renaissance, Chevron, and Mobil, they are going to be having a drilling project, the future is bright, is the same person that said, I'm quoting, is the same person that said, there's no moral, there's no honor in politics. And in a politics being played by the APC, where there's no moral and honor, you expect them to do what is right. Maybe you have a way of doing your own right thing, but the system, as Africans, we are spiritual people. Our foundation is based on right, honor, and morality. We are not like the Yoruba. That's why I said democracy is not for us. So if you are using the democracy of the West, my brother, you go nowhere. I've said this over and over again. I'm even tired of saying it, that you cannot practice democracy and be developed. In Africa today, you must practice something that's unique to you. We have allowed them to sell lies to us. We had leaders then. Why these people are lying to us? We had leaders then. Why they sold our future? Why don't do own? You know they again, don't die. Bastardize the whole thing. If he did alive now, you go to whine us, go to gaslight us, say, I did this, we did this. Now, you don't spoil the country, you don't die, you don't go. We are living to suffer. Buhari no suffer. Everything he wants, he has. Even as at a young age, he was enjoying, he became head of state. Head of state and president. He doesn't lack anything. But you that you're a Nigerian, that you don't get nothing. You're just there, existing. The way you defend the government, you don't understand that the biggest problems is not Yoruba or Igbo. The biggest problems are the external powers. And those, they are taskmasters. Those, they are caretakers. Those, they are warrant officers in the person of your president and your senate president, that they don't believe in Nigeria. They are falling sick now. They carry themselves, go out of the country, go treat themselves. Bye-bye to Nigeria. They don't care about anybody. See, may God help Nigeria and Nigerians in this contraption that we find ourselves.